Hey, I'm Grant Davis with GDI Insurance Agency here to give you a little bit of help. Please come follow me as we go through construction insurance, construction contracts, indemnity, hold harmless agreements, the proper insurance, the proper additional insured forms, the right way to do things, including bonding, performance payment bonding, everything you need to know to make sure you have a perfect project. I have in my hand here, and I got to put on my glasses for this, so forgive me for a second. I got to look away from the lights or else it looks glary. But I wrote this for one of my clients to their attorney. And it starts with what is premise operation, products completed operations, workmanship or professional liability, hard cost, time delays. Frankly, in here I say whoever you paid to do your consulting, which he did pay a consultant, just botched every bit of every contract I looked at. And then we go on, when it's done, like there was a penalty. Hey, gee, the contractor's running late, didn't finish on time. Well, it wasn't in the contract, right? Also, there was a clause in there that many of you who work for cities or municipalities or even big companies make the mistake of saying, oh, name us as an additional insured. But you don't specify the form numbers. There's a dozen form numbers and versions. When you add it all together, there's probably a couple dozen. And I have a book. I know the key ones, of course, but every once in a while someone says, hey, I need an additional insured and I need to know what form it is, and I have to look it up and I have to say, okay, this form, this version number, this is what provides the coverage that is needed for the project or whatever is being done. Now we're going to talk about construction, but also understand this very same stuff. I have an HOA as an example. I have a good size HOA, a couple $100 million value, big 37-story deal. And they use an indemnity, hold harmless with all the insurance requirements built in. And there's a reason for that. So those of you that separate those things, again, it's a mistake. It's not going to do what you want it to do. So the idea is, what we want to do is we want to be able to draw coverage. And we want the insurance company to cleanly pay for it. So I'm going to make this one statement, and let me just tell you, I love Allstate. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're the good hands people, right? And I'm the guy that's going to say bullshit. I call bullshit. There's no such thing as good hands in insurance. I've been doing this over 40 years. You know what there is in insurance? There's contract. You're never in good hands. You're in contract. You got a contract for your auto or home insurance. That's the simple stuff. We're going to get a little bit more deeper. We're going to get into, okay, you're going to build, and I'm going to use it as an example, an actor that I insured down in Southern California, and $9 million build, and just about everything you can imagine went wrong with his permission. I'm not going to talk about him, but I'm just going to use that as an example because it didn't have to be done wrong. Nothing had to happen bad, but you had to have a good contract, and that's where it all failed. It started by not having contracts, by not doing things right. Indemnity, hold harmless, the insurance clauses right, the proper additional insured forms, not just from the general contract, but everybody involved. Those are the things that were done wrong. And this is just an overview. This is an invitation for you to just click, sign up, get notified. It's going to be a couple dozen videos, and they're not going to be 2 to 5 minute videos. These are training videos, but I do promise you this. At the end of this, you're going to know a couple of things. You're going to know, number one, that, and I'm going to make this claim, that after 40 years of doing this, I know more than most insurance brokers about this. And I'm going to say 99% of insurance brokers, because 99% of insurance brokers dabble in things. This is a real specialty. It requires a lot of reading. I used to have a full library of stuff. I mean, we're talking about bookcases full of books, all tabbed and read and everything. And I'm going to tell you the number of insurance brokers that I know that have done that kind of reading, 0. I don't know any. I'm assuming some have, but I don't know any. But I had to do all that reading. Now it's all online, so I don't have to have the library I used to, and it's also easier to search and really cool. I can get to stuff really fast. But as an example, the idea is very simple. If I could just break it down, you have a dream and you want to build this. And so I'm also working on a $568 million mixed use development right now. I don't have the deal yet, so let me disclose that. I've been working on it about a year. It takes time. These bigger projects just take time. I think it's going to be my project, but I'm just going to tell you the same process that we use for rebuilding a $9 million house and all the things that have to go into it. We just expand that same concept into as large as you want to go. It's just it's done. We got to do it in phases and blocks and some other things. We got to get larger towers for liability, to get up there in the hundreds of millions of dollars range, but it's no big deal. We just do that. That's what we do every day. We use OSIPs and other things, which all this stuff I'm talking about, don't worry about not knowing about it. I'm like OSIP. I'm going to do just a thing on OSIP, just so you get it. I'm going to just cover it, and you're going to understand it. And so you'll be able to pick down a menu shortly and just say, hey, I need to know this, or I need to know that, and there it's going to be. So as you realize that I do get what I'm talking about, obviously this is all just free for you. We have a lot of free downloads you can get too, but please think about calling GDI Insurance, and just asking for help. We can help. We can help with this, alternative risk financing, all kinds of stuff we can do for you, including answering your questions and including talking to your attorneys about what needs to be in the contracts and why they need to be written a certain way. And by the way, when I go through here, this is a list of problems. And then I come over here, and this, by the way, is a 2-page indemnity and hold harmless agreement that includes the insurance requirements and the requirement for the proper additional insured forms. And frankly, this is written in Word. I just tell my client, have your attorney look at it, but I would just, hey, if this is a purchase agreement, just slide this baby in, and you're good to go. Anyone. So let's pick on my HOA, $200 million. Nobody touches that building without this and the proper insurance and additional insured form. Too much damage could be done. Too much. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage easily can be done. I've seen it happen. So the same thing, you own a small business, you need this. You got to have it, just a little 2-pager, and make sure they do it, right? Because what happens, the HVAC guy is up on a ladder, falls down on your property. That employee brings a first-party liability claim against you. How do you flip it back to the owner? Indemnity and hold harmless agreement, where it makes them responsible for their own safety. That's all in here, So these are the things that we're going to talk about. So this is just a quick video to say, please follow me. We got a lot to cover, and you're going to see it. We're going to cover everything. We're going to cover how to set up a project so that if something does go wrong, it's okay, because here's what you want, right? You want your project done on time, because if it's not done on time, you lose money. Consequential damages, right? Well, that has to be in the contract, right? You want it done without defect, right? No defects. And if there are problems, and there's defects and problems usually, with bigger projects particularly, well, who's going to take care of them? Well, if we do the contractual transfers right, and we use the right kind of policies like owner-controlled insurance programs and such, that's how that happens. It gets taken care of, right? On time, without defect. Oh, and by the way, within budget, guaranteed maximum cost, where you split the savings and such. All that stuff, I will talk about it all, how you do all of that, and you get that in your contracts, and that way you make sure it's right. And now we got to talk about performance and payment bonds. Whether you require one or not, you do want to require that your contractor qualifies for one. Because here's the deal, if you can't get an insurance company to issue a payment performance bond for the contractor, that's the biggest red flag on the field we can make, because if they don't make the payments to the suppliers, the subcontractors, yeah, it's done on time, within budget, right? And without defect, but guess what? Now you got liens all over it, right? You don't want that. So that's the payment part. Performance, I've had it happen, okay? 3 levels of foundation, you don't put in the stuff right, and guess what happens next, okay? Now all of a sudden it's all got to be pulled out and it's workmanship. Well, how does that get taken care of, okay? Performance bonds, we got to talk about those a little bit, okay? So anyway, I really invite you to follow me, and I promise We're gonna give you some good detail. We're gonna have free downloads where you can get this stuff. And here's the deal, you're gonna wanna call. You're gonna wanna call GDI and let us help you on your projects. When you see what we know and how we can help you and the projects we've worked on, you're gonna call us. But if not, hey, it's free. Why not learn? Let us teach you what to do, and then maybe your broker can figure it out. But I'm gonna tell you this, I'm just gonna show you this one thing. So this, I'm a paperless guy. This big stack of paper with all the clips, I put in those clips myself. This is my new client. This is their project. This is a mess. It's a mess. But what am I doing? I'm going through there and I'm finding every pinch point and I'm making sure that we have a pool of money to take care of it. So, this could be a problem. Okay, how do we get the insurance companies to take care of that? Insurance companies are great as long as you understand you're in contract. You're not in good hands. You're in contract. Again, no offense to the good hands people. They mean well, and I'm sure they are good. I'm sure. No question about it. I'm just saying that it's a contract. And so you have to have the proper contract that attaches to your contract. So your contract, your insurance policy attaches. If it doesn't attach, I use the word attach. If it doesn't attach, you're not covered and no one's paying anything. So we want it to attach. That's all. I'm here to help.